So it just goes to show, man, you can do everything right and stuff still goes wrong. It just proves once again, you can't control what happens to you. All you can control is how you respond.
The most painful thing for many American families right now is not getting another bill. It is knowing they will not be able to pay it on time. Not long ago, people still believed that as long as they had a job, received a steady paycheck, and lived responsibly, their family would eventually be okay. And maybe they would not be rich, but they could still keep a roof over their heads, raise their children, and maintain a decent life. That used to be the most realistic version of the American dream. But that promise has completely changed. What has caused people who are still working to start missing payments? And why can being short just a few $100s force a family to let a bill become overdue? Today we are going to listen to the real stories, take a close look at how a bill goes from being paid on time to becoming overdue, and see what happens when people can no longer keep up with every payment at once. Keep watching, because by the time the first bill goes unpaid, the crisis has usually already been building for months. From paying late to stopping payments, the warning signs were already showing up in household finances. There is something many people only realize when their account starts running dry. People rarely go straight from, I can still make the payments, to I'm not paying anymore. In between are weeks sometimes, even months, when they try to keep every bill current for just one more day.
Why is gas $5 a gallon? And like, why do I have to pay rent? And why is rent so high? And why do I have to drive my car and get the gas that I have to get to go to the job that I have to pay for rent? Why do I have to do all of that stuff? And why are you making it so fucking expensive to do it? I don't even want to get out and pump my gas. It feels like getting out and just knowing someone's gonna fucking stab you. Why would you get out? This is beginning. This is the beginning of life. What am I supposed to do forever? I have to get a fucking horse.
And this young woman is standing at the beginning of that process. She asks why she has to buy gas to drive to work, then use the money from work to pay rent before buying more gas, and starting the whole thing over again the next morning. Sound familiar? You need a car to get to work, you need gas to keep the car moving, and you need the job to pay rent. She is not complaining because she cannot buy luxury items. She is just asking why staying alive and going to work have taken every dollar she earns. For me, the most exhausting part would not be filling up the tank one time. It would be the feeling that I had done everything right, but still had not moved forward at all by the end of the month. I bet some people watching have gotten paid, then asked a few days later where did all the money go. A bank employee said she often sees accounts with only $1 or $2 left, or already overdrawn after all the payments come out. A police officer with a family of 4 also said that almost every day, money for the car, gas, groceries, or the phone bill leaves the account. Think about what that means in real life. The rent has been paid, the lights are still on, and the car payment is not late yet. From the outside, everything still looks normal. But if there is only $2 left in the account, what happens when a child needs medicine or a tire goes flat? If my account had only a few dollars left after payday, I would not say I was doing fine. I would say I had just made it through one unlicensed 1 month without anything unexpected happening. And that is when the way people pay starts to change. They do not stop all at once. They slowly push each bill farther back. First, one bill gets split into several payments, and then people only pay the minimum, and the due date gets moved until after the next paycheck. Cash is saved for rent or the car payment while groceries, gas, and medicine go on a credit card to buy a little more time. The next month, the family does not just have to buy new groceries. They also have to pay for the last month's groceries. The account keeps dropping close to zero. An automatic payment fails. A payment is a few days late. Then 1 month it does not get paid at all. Are you already going through those steps? Maybe you have not skipped any bills yet. But you have split them up, moved the dates paid only the minimum, or used a card for things you used to pay for with cash. If so, the payment has not disappeared, but it is starting to weaken. Take a car payment of about $694 a month for 72 months as an example. That number does not stand alone. It has to fit between housing, groceries, utilities, gas insurance, and repairs. If the car breaks down, the family has to pay both the loan and the repair bill. Imagine that is your family's car. You need to fix it so you can get to work tomorrow morning, but the payment is still due. If you pay for the repair, you may not have enough for the payment. If you protect the loan payment, where does the grocery money come from? Which bill would you push into next week?
Okay, so it's been like 2 days since I said I wasn't going to pay my credit card bills. Delish. It's also been 2 days since I picked these puppies up. They've just been sitting in the hot apartment. I was kidding about not paying my credit card bills. I'll still pay them. Maybe. But I do love how some people were like, well, good luck buying a house then. It's like half, if not most of the people my age already don't plan on doing that. Like, they don't get to picture doing that. So, other people were commenting like, oh, so you're just okay with stealing then? Yeah. The ethics of it literally never crossed my mind. I'm not stealing and beating the shit out of a child. It's like a multi-billion-dollar company who doesn't give a fuck about you or me. So, other people were like, they can't catch us all if we don't pay our credit card bills. No, I mean, let me know if we're doing that, guys. Because then I really won't pay. So, these were my roommates. Sorry, dude. All right, guys. Peace.
After juggling everything like this for long enough, a thought can easily show up. What if I just stopped paying? The second young woman said she had stopped paying her credit card bills and felt relieved. 2 days later, she said she was only joking and would still pay them. I do not believe stopping payments is a solution. The debt does not disappear just because we close the app. But I understand that feeling of relief. People do not stop paying overnight. A payment usually goes from the minimum to delayed to overdue and then finally disappears. Then the challengers showed up at an auction lot after being repossessed. I do not know what they went through, so I am not judging them. But the car did not get there right away. What pushed the payment into overdue status when the paycheck came late or disappeared? Job losses and disrupted paychecks are pushing bills past due.
Today I watched 5 of my coworkers get laid off from a job that they've been working for 20 plus years. Each and every one of them have 20 plus years experience. And the company just let them go just like that. Now these are hard-working, dedicated, loyal employees.
All right, this does not stop with late payments. Now let us talk about something that could destroy a family's entire plan in a single morning losing a job. 5 people had just been laid off. Every one of them had worked there for more than 20 years. When I heard that number, it honestly sent a chill through me. 20 years is not a few months on probation. That could be most of a person's working life. They had gotten used to that income and used it to pay the mortgage, the car payment, insurance, and support their family. Then one day, the next paycheck was no longer coming. We often believe that doing good work, working hard, and staying long enough will keep us safe. I used to believe that too. But the man we just heard said something very clearly: you can do everything right and something bad can still happen. And when the job disappears, the bills do not give you time to calm down. The mortgage is still due. The car payment still comes out. Electricity, water, the phone bill, and insurance all stay on the same schedule. A company can cut your job in a few minutes, but you cannot cut all your family's expenses in a few minutes. If that happened to me, the first thing I would do is I open my bank account and count how many days I could hold on. Not how many months. How many days. One family went through exactly that. The night before, the company was still telling employees that everything was fine. The next morning, the company shut down. The husband, the wife, the mother, and the stepfather all worked at the same place. After just one night, all 4 paychecks disappeared. There was no severance. At first, even their final checks could not be cashed. Then the electricity was shut off, the car was repossessed, and they almost lost the house. What stays with me most is this: having 4 people working sounds very secure. But because all of them depended on the same company, they did not really have 4 sources of income. They had one source of income split into 4 paychecks. Is your household in a similar situation? Do both spouses work in the same industry? Does the whole family depend on that one factory, one company, or one group of customers? Because when that source stops, people do not stop paying bills right away. They try to protect the mortgage first. They pay only the minimum on the credit cards, and groceries and gas go on the cards. Another bill gets pushed into the following week. But losing a job is not the only way money can stop coming into the account. Some people still wake up, still drive to work, and still complete their shifts. The only thing missing is the paycheck.
There's nothing in me that wants to go in there and listen to people complain and bitch all fucking day about money that they're not getting or that they are getting, but it's not enough for them when I haven't been paid in 35 days.
35 days. She was still going to work, but she had not been paid in more than a month. When I heard that, the first thing I thought about was gas money. She still had to spend money getting to a place that was not paying her. She still had to eat, still had bills at home, and still had to keep her life moving. At that point, saying at least you still have a job does not help. A job only matters to your payment schedule when money actually reaches your account. The 5 people we just heard about lost their jobs completely. This woman still had a job but had gone 35 days without being paid. Their situations were different, but when the payment date arrived, they faced the same problem: the money was not there. So what happens when the paycheck still arrives on time, but groceries, gas, and medicine have already taken the money that was supposed to cover the remaining bills? Groceries, gas, and medicine are taking the money meant for other bills. The problem is not just whether the paycheck comes in. Sometimes the money still arrives right on time, but the mortgage, groceries, and gas are already waiting to take almost all of it. And that is exactly what is happening to this family. It is Friday. By Tuesday, almost all the money is gone. What caught my attention was not that they bought too much. Actually, they did not buy anything special at all. The money went toward the mortgage, groceries, and gas. A roof over their heads, food to eat, gas so they can keep going to work. She is a full-time nurse. Her husband also works full-time. They live with their 2 children in a home that is about 1,100 square feet with 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. I look at those details and I honestly do not know what else anyone could tell them to cut. Sell an even smaller house, skip meals, or stop buying gas and stop going to work. We often talk about saving money as though every family has a long list of things they do not really need and can simply cut out. A meal at a restaurant or an entertainment app or something bought on impulse. Those expenses can be cut. But groceries, gas, and medicine are different. You can buy cheaper options, drive less, or ask your doctor about another choice. But in the end, the family still has to eat, the car still needs gas, and someone who is sick still needs medicine. That is why I do not want this story to stop at the number $300. That $300 is not just the money they have left. It is the entire distance between this family and the next problem. From Tuesday until the following Friday, both parents still have to go to work. Their 2 children still need food. The refrigerator keeps getting emptier. The gas tank keeps going down. And life does not promise to stay quiet during those 10 days. Maybe the school sends home another fee. Maybe the car needs repairs. Maybe one of the children gets a fever. Maybe someone in the house needs to refill a prescription in that same week. You may have felt this before. There is still money in the account, but you know that money does not really belong to you. It has already been set aside for things that have not happened yet. This is the part that worries me most. This family has not missed a bill yet. They're still doing everything right, going to work, paying the mortgage, buying food, and keeping the car running. But when basic needs take almost the entire paycheck, even a small expense can push everything else onto a credit card. This week's groceries get paid for with next month's money. Today's gas becomes something that has to be paid on the next credit card statement. Another bill gets pushed back because food and medicine cannot wait. And from that point on, the family no longer starts the new month at 0. They start with bills from the previous month still waiting to be paid. That is the real change. The paycheck still comes in, but less and less of it can be used to create any kind of security. And when the missing money starts reaching the mortgage or the car payment, the consequences are no longer limited to a statement. It can take away the very home or car the family needs to keep living and working. Stopping house or car payments can cost people, both their home and their way to work. When the money left over is not enough to cover housing, the problem is no longer just sitting on a statement. A family may have to leave the place they once called home. This family of 7 has been living in a hotel
Okay, let's
for a
get back
week.
to it. Like I said, we've been navigating it pretty well. We've just been keeping to our pretty normal routine. I mean, it is currently spring break, and that's definitely added some chaos to it, but it is what it is. I actually enjoy having my babies with me through this time because I just feel like the more we're together, the more we can process everything. And we're just honestly stronger together as a family.
She said the whole family was still trying to keep life normal. But honestly, there is nothing normal about 7 people having to squeeze their entire lives into one hotel room. The kids still need somewhere to sleep. Clothes still have to be washed. The whole family still has to eat. The adults still have to go to work and try to stay calm so the children do not panic. I understand why she said her family is stronger when they are together. When you have young children, parents sometimes are not allowed to fall apart. Even with dozens of questions running through their minds, they still have to get up and act like today is just another normal day. The clip does not clearly explain why they lost their housing, so I do not want to add a reason on my own. But the result is very clear. 7 people are having to turn a temporary room into a home. Losing your home is not just losing an address. You also have to find somewhere to keep your belongings, change your route to work, keep your children on their school schedule, and come up with money for the next place to live. Right when your bank account is at its weakest, you need even more money for a deposit, moving expenses, and all kinds of costs just to start over. And during all of that, the car becomes more important than ever. It gets you to work, takes your children to school, and helps the whole family search for another place to live. But if the car payment also gets left behind, that car can disappear.
I remember when my car got repoed from my parents' driveway, mind you. They pulled up like Batman out of nowhere. Had lost the job that I had previously had due to layoffs, or so they said. And then I had just gotten a new job, but my concern wasn't to pay my note because I didn't think anything bad was going to happen. Me? Repo? Yeah, right.
The car was towed away right from her parents' yard. She said she had found a new job, but she had not made the car payment a priority because she did not think the repossession would really happen. I appreciate that honesty. She did not say she was completely blameless. She admitted that she thought the consequences were still far away, but I also understand why people can easily think that way. After being out of work for a while, the first money that comes back into the account already has too many places to go. You tell yourself you will make the car payment with the next paycheck. Then one morning the car is gone from the yard. In many parts of America, losing a car can also make it much harder to keep a job, take care of a family, and start over. And before losing a home or a car, many families have usually already used up most of their savings credit and even their health. Before missing a bill, Americans have nearly used up their savings credit and health. And that is what I want to look at more closely. A car getting towed away or a family having to leave their homes, only the final consequence we can see. Before that, they have usually been quietly pulling money from savings every month, putting essential expenses on credit cards and pushing themselves to work more just to keep everything from falling apart. At first, they only take a little money out of savings to buy groceries. The next month, the car needs repairs. Then insurance goes up, a prescription comes in, or the electric bill is higher than expected. Every time they take money out, they tell themselves, I will put it back next month. I understand that because it sounds completely reasonable. You just have to get through this month first. But the next month, something else is already waiting. Little by little. The money that was once set aside for emergencies becomes money used for everyday living. Have you ever taken money out of savings and promised yourself you would put it back? I think a lot of people have done that. The scary part is not taking money out once. It is the day you open the account and realize that there is nothing left that you can call an emergency fund. For months, there has always been something that needed to be handled right away. When the savings are almost gone, credit cards start taking their place. And people are not always using them to buy expensive things. Sometimes it is just a bag of groceries, a tank of gas, or a prescription. Each expense does not look that large on its own, but at the end of the month, they are all sitting together on the same statement. Honestly, it really bothers me when people simplify this by saying if you do not have the money, do not use the card. That is easy to say when you are not standing at the register, with a child who needs food, a car that needs gas, and only a few dollars left in your account. In that moment, people are not thinking about 6 months from now. They are just trying to get their family through today. But the price of getting through today is that part of next month's paycheck is already gone. The new paycheck has barely arrived, and the credit card bill is already waiting. Eventually, the credit card is no longer a backup plan. It becomes the only way to keep food in the refrigerator and gas in the car. Then as both savings and available credit start running out, many people turn to the last thing they still have: their own bodies. They take extra shifts even when they are already exhausted. They sleep less so they can work a second job. They postpone the dentist. They skip a medical checkup. They live with pain for a few more weeks because they do not want another bill. This is where I cannot call them irresponsible. Someone who is giving up sleep, health, and time with family to keep the bills current is not someone who has stopped trying. In my opinion, they may have been trying too hard for too long. Do you know someone like that? Someone who always picks up extra shifts, almost never takes a sick day, and still says, I am fine, even though they look completely worn out. That person may be working right next to you. It may be someone in your family, or it may be you. The hardest part to notice is that from the outside, their life still looks normal. They still go to work to take their children to school, pay the mortgage, and smile when they see someone they know. But behind that normal appearance, the savings are almost gone. The credit cards are close to their limits. A medical appointment has been canceled, and the body is starting to say, it cannot keep going like this forever. So when a bill finally gets left unpaid, I do not think the first question should be, why did they not pay it? What we need to look at is everything they had already used up before that day. Savings to buy more time, credit to keep life moving, health to keep earning money. By the time all three have started to fail, the late bill is not the beginning of the crisis. It is only the first sign that people on the outside can see. And unfortunately, after the due date passes, the debt is still there, followed by interest, late fees, and debt collection calls. Bills do not disappear when you stop paying, and the ways out right now are only temporary. At this point, maybe the question is no longer why a family lets a bill become overdue. The question is what they are doing to make it through this month. Some people pick up extra evening shifts. Some pay only the minimum. Some move the debt to another credit card, sell things around the house, or call family members for help. One bill gets pushed back so there's enough money for groceries. They ask for a few extra days on the car payment so the electricity does not get shut off. I do not look down on any of those choices, and when the account is almost empty, buying one more week can help a family put food on the table and keep going to work. But buying more time does not mean the problem has been solved. A credit card pays for groceries today, but the next paycheck has to cover that charge. Borrowing from family helps you get through as small as into one bill, but the pressure has only been passed on to someone you love. Picking up extra shifts brings in more money, but your body cannot live forever without enough sleep or rest. The bills do not disappear when we close the app either. After the due date, interest and late fees may show up. The phone starts ringing, letters start arriving. A debt that was already hard to pay can become even larger. This is the part that frustrates me. Most people who are already short on money have to pay even more money because they were short on money. I understand not wanting to open the envelope or answer the phone. Sometimes people just need a few hours when they do not have to think about it, but avoiding it for too long can mean missing a deadline or losing the chance to ask for help. If I were in that situation, I would make everything as clear as possible. I would open every notice and write down how much I owed when each payment was due, and the most immediate consequence of not paying it. I would protect the money for housing, utilities, groceries, and transportation into work first. Then I would call directly and ask about changing the due date, splitting up the payment, or getting into an assistance program, and I would ask for every agreement to be confirmed in writing. A frightening number is still better than a consequence that shows up without warning, and I would not promise a payment amount that I already knew I could not afford again next month. Because a plan that only works when nobody gets sick, the car does not break down, and the job does not change, is not real stability. Stopping payments may give a family a few more days to breathe, but control only starts coming back when they know exactly what they owe, which bill creates the greatest danger, and what they need to do before each deadline. We have just heard several different stories, people who lost their jobs, people who kept working without getting paid, a family with only a few $100s, left people living in a hotel, and someone whose car was taken from her parents' yard. Do not wait until everything is out of control before you look back. This is an America where many people are still working and still trying, but the gap between their income and their bills keeps getting smaller. Of course not. Every American's going through this. But stopping payments usually comes after months of using up savings credit and health just to keep life moving. What are you seeing where you live? Is your life getting better, or is it just getting more expensive and harder to predict? Share your story below. And subscribe to the channel. This is where we take an honest look at the changes affecting everyday people.